In this lesson, you'll learn 4 beautiful ways to play if, including an easy strumming pattern and 3 finger-picking patterns. So here's a short preview of the patterns that you'll learn.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? The words will never show the you I've come to know. If a face could launch 1,000 ships, then where am I to go?
Now throughout this lesson, I'll be using my tenor with low G tuning. Now you can follow along with high G tuning as well. Just keep in mind that your 4th string is 1 octave higher than mine, so the patterns will sound a bit different on your instrument, particularly the finger-picking patterns, but they still sound beautiful with high G tuning. This song uses 2 chord progressions. The first is used in all 4 verses and in the song introduction. And then the second chord progression is used in the chorus. So let's start with our first chord progression, looking at how to play the chord shapes and how to apply our patterns. Our first 3 chords are A major 7, and then A7. Now I'm going to give you 2 different fingering options for these chords. The first is to keep your index finger on the 3rd string, and the second is to keep your middle finger on the 3rd string. So for the first option, to form our A chord, we'll place our index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Then to go to A major 7, we'll move our middle finger back 1 fret to the 1st fret of the 4th string. And then to go to A7, we'll lift up our middle finger, keeping just our index finger in place. For the second option, we'll place our middle finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string and our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Then to go to A major 7, we'll lift up our ring finger and place our index finger down on the 1st fret of the 4th string. Then to go to A7, we'll lift up our index finger, keeping our middle finger in place. Now I find that the advantage to the second option is that it's a bit more comfortable to play the A major 7 chord. However, I prefer the first option because I'm used to keeping my index finger on the 3rd string to play my A chord. And for me, it's a bit easier to transition from A7 to D that comes next. To form our D chord, we're going to play the 2nd fret of strings 2, 3, and 4. And here I'm using my pinky, ring finger, and middle finger. Then next we have D minor. And to play D minor, we'll lift up our pinky, keeping our middle and ring fingers in place, and we'll place down our index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. After D minor, we go back to our A chord. So we'll keep our middle finger in place on the 4th string and move our index finger to the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Then we have a beautiful D minor 6 chord. Now to play this chord, moving from A, we'll take our index and middle fingers and move them down 1 string. So now we have our index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. We're also going to place down our pinky on the 4th fret of the 4th string. And then our final chord in this progression is E7. So to form E7, we'll keep our middle finger in place, and then we're going to place down our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and our index finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string. Now let's look at our various options to play the intro and the verses using our patterns. Starting with our easy strumming pattern, here's how the pattern sounds on an A chord. We start with an arpeggio down strum, played as a broken chord so that each string rings out. Then we follow that with a regular down strum. Now the rhythm for this pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to strum the song, we'll play this pattern one time on every chord. So here's how it sounds to strum the verses or the introduction, starting on A. Now let's look at how to use our finger-picking patterns on the chord progression for the verses and the intro. We'll look at 3 different finger-picking patterns, and you could choose just one pattern to use throughout the entire song, once on each chord, or I'll show you how to alternate between them for my favorite way to play this song. Here's pattern 1, played slowly on an A chord. We're starting by picking string 4 with our thumb, 3 with our index finger, back to 4 with our thumb, then down to string 2 with our middle finger, string 3 with our index finger, string 4 with our thumb, and we finish on string 2 with our middle finger. The rhythm of this pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Playing this pattern at a faster tempo will sound like this. Now pattern 2 is played the same way as pattern 1 until we get to our final note, where we play the first string rather than the second string. So here's how we count pattern 2 on an A chord at a slow tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Playing pattern 2 at a faster tempo will sound like this. Now here's pattern 3 played slowly on an A chord. We're starting on string 3 with our index finger, and then we're picking strings 4 down to 1 with our thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger. Now the rhythm of this pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Playing this pattern at a faster tempo sounds like this. So you can apply any one of the finger-picking patterns to the entire song, or if you'd like to alternate between them, then here's how we do it. We start on our A chord with pattern 1, then to A major 7, still on pattern 1, then to A7 with pattern 2, then we go to our D chord with pattern 1, then to D minor with pattern 2, then to A with pattern 1, then to D minor 6 with pattern 2, and then we finish on E7 with pattern 3. So here's how we put this all together at a slow tempo, counting the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, If you're enjoying this lesson, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, then welcome. I'm Lara. I'm a musician, a composer, and a ukulele teacher, and I hope you have fun exploring my channel and song tutorials. If you'd like to download the song sheet for If, including the chords, patterns, and lyrics, you can do so from my Patreon page, along with my songbook covering all of the songs that I've shared on my channel. The link is down below in the video description. Next, we'll walk through the chord progression used in the chorus, how to play our chord shapes, how to apply our patterns, and we'll look at the difference between the first chorus and the final chorus. Now let's look at our chord progression for the chorus. We start the chorus on an F-sharp minor chord. Here I have my index finger on the first fret of the third string and my middle and ring fingers on the second fret of strings 2 and 4. Next we have a beautiful C-sharp minor chord. We'll place our ring finger on the 6th fret of the 4th string, and we're going to bar the 4th fret across all 4 strings. Now I know bar chords can be rather tricky, so here with your index finger, rather than placing it centered on the fretboard, you want to try to angle it to the side. This will help you to get the right amount of pressure on the strings, and it will make the chord a bit easier to play. So try placing down your index finger and then rolling it to the side, and make sure you have it right up against the fret. Our next chord is F-sharp minor 7, no 5. I'm playing this chord with my index and middle fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 4 and 2, and my pinky on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. From here we'll move to a beautiful D6 chord. We're going to keep our middle finger in place and move our index finger to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string and our pinky to the 4th fret of the 4th string. Next we have an easy chord with a complex name. This is a C-sharp minor 7 flatted 5 chord. We have our index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string and our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Then we go to a beautiful F-sharp 7 chord. Now this is another bar chord. Here we're going to place our ring finger on the 7th fret of the 1st string, and we're going to bar the 6th fret across all 4 strings. Here once again, try to put the pressure on the outside of your index finger. Now we finish the chorus with 2 familiar chords, D minor and E7. Now to play the chorus, we can use our strumming pattern or any of the finger picking patterns one time on each chord. Now I'm going to show you how to alternate between finger picking patterns. We'll start on F-sharp minor with pattern 1, then to C-sharp minor with pattern 3, then to F-sharp minor 7 with pattern 1, then to D6 with pattern 2, then in line 2 we go to our C-sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord with pattern 3, then to our F-sharp 7 chord again with pattern 3, then to D minor with pattern 2, and then we finish the chorus on E7 with pattern 3. Now here's how we count the rhythm of the chorus, putting this all together at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, chorus, the chord progression in our second line is different than it was in the first chorus. So after our F sharp 7 chord, we move to a B minor 7 chord. Now here we're going to bar all 4 strings across the 2nd fret. And if you'd like, you can use your middle finger for additional support. Then we go to E7, then to A, then to D, then to D minor 6, and we finish on an A chord. So for this final line of the final chorus, you can use any one of the patterns one time on each chord. If you want to alternate between finger-picking patterns, then we'll start on our C sharp minor 7 flatted 5 chord with pattern 3, then to F sharp 7 with pattern 3, then to B minor 7 with pattern 3 again, and then to E7 again with pattern 3. Now for the final 4 chords, we'll go to A with pattern 1, then to D with pattern 1, then to D minor 6 with pattern 2, and for the final A chord, I like to play an arpeggio through all 4 strings. Now we're moving into our play along, where I'll play and sing through the entire song, and you can play along with me. Now you can choose any one of the 4 patterns to use throughout the song, or you can alternate between patterns. I'm going to use the strumming pattern in a few sections, and in the other sections I'll alternate between the finger-picking patterns, just as we've covered in this lesson. 5, 6, 7, 8.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? The words will never show the you I've come to know. If a face could launch 1,000 ships, then where am I to go? There's no one home but you. You're all that's left me to. And when my love for life is running dry, you come and pour yourself on me. If a man could be 2 places at one time, I'd be with you. Tomorrow and today, beside you all the way. If the world should stop revolving, spinning slowly down to die, I'd spend the end with you. And when the world was through, then one by one the stars would all go out. Then you and I would simply fly away.
For more song tutorials, see this playlist here. Have fun practicing, and thanks for watching.